So I've been looking at the most recent update from JP Morgan, the guide to the markets, and I noted one thing that I want to share with you. And I'll pull up the graph in a second, but they have a really nice tracker around consumer confidence and subsequent market returns. And I just saw that kind of the most recent reading showed that it's lower than what it was at the start of the pandemic, which is pretty striking considering how dire things seemed at that point. So yeah, I'll share that with you. But another thought I had was that there's lots of talk around recession, kind of a lot of gloom in the air around markets, and justifiably so. You know, the fact that this consumer confidence reading shows such a low number, inflation, kind of personal finances are really maxed out. There is no kind of external catalyst pushing the economy forward. There's no stimulus, nothing like that. So it's no surprise these things are going on, but I would just highlight one potential scenario is that we just kind of have very stagnant growth or no growth for a period of time, and hopefully ideally inflation backs off a little bit, but we just work through that until we get into a new cycle. So that's a possibility. Obviously on the flip side, given all of the messiness of our current situation, and if you combine that with some type of event, you could have a more dramatic shift in markets and the economy. So just want to share some of those thoughts with you, and I'm going to pull up that graph here in a sec. Yeah, so here's that graph, consumer confidence, and then the subsequent 12-month return on the S&P 500. So you can see it over time tracking. At some of these lows, oftentimes what ends up happening from the low consumer confidence reading, you have fairly positive returns, and then obviously on the highs, you have lower returns, which makes sense. When people are kind of feeling euphoric or really good about things, that tends to mean that things are going to cool off a little bit. And you can kind of see that over time. But what I was highlighting is this March 2022 reading. It's quite a bit lower than the April 2020 reading. And I would just say that the market return aspect, a little different maybe this time. I hate to use that phrase. It's different this time, but we're going into a Fed rate hike cycle. There's lots of messiness out there. So I just say that, I would just take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, hope that's been helpful. Take care.